the next WWE offering of the week was last night's SmackDown, and I don't take any pleasure in telling you that I watched some of this, but oh my God. Again, are they trying actively to run people off? It's a big joke, the show. Everybody's laughing. The New Day came out to do an in-ring interview. They had the trombone. They're doing comedy routines. They bring Drew McIntyre out, and he's laughing and doing a promo. And the New Day gave Drew a gift box for his birthday, rainbow-colored gift box, and it turned out to be a colored kilt that also looked like it was 16 sizes too small for him, unless he was just going to put it on one leg. They do this business, and then here comes, do you know now what they're calling Sheamus and Ridge Holland and their little friend Butch?
The name of their faction?
The name of their faction.
I'm not sure I remember, no.
The Brawling Brutes.
That's a Vince.
Yes, it is. And the baby faces even made fun of it. Yeah, that's really what they call themselves, the Brawling Brutes. And here come the Brawling Brutes. And there's three of them, and there's three New Day and Drew, and they get in a fight, and they go to the break. And when they come back from the break, Brian, you will never in a million years guess what is about to happen.
Did Adam Pearce make the match?
No. They just had one. 6-man tag. So 16 minutes into this 2-hour show, they've gotten done with the interview and the setup and the break, and now they come back and they have a 6-man tag. And little Butch beat Woods 1, 2, 3. And by the time that was over, we were 28 minutes into this program for these 6 guys. We did a promo with Riddle and Shaky Nakamura and an Usos package, and they talked about Orton's injuries. Again, we got no Roman Reigns, we got no Paul Heyman, we got no Randy Orton. And by the way, I also hate Riddle's snakeskin scuba suit. It looks like a suit that a scuba diver wears, but it's imitation snakeskin. So then Adam Pearce in his office is confronted while he's on the phone by our friend, formerly known as Eli Drake, formerly known as L.A. Knight. Guess what his name is now, Brian?
I saw this somewhere. It's Max something, right?
Max Dupree. He is the head of a male model agency, Maximum Male Models. He's a manager, and he's talking about all the great talent he's going to be bringing into. He was just on their fucking television on the USA Network challenging for the NXT title as a main event wrestler named L.A. Knight. And suddenly he moves from Tuesday to Friday in the same company, and he is a manager of Maximum Male Models named Max Dupree. And they wonder why the people watching this do not give a French fried titty fuck what happens to anybody. Because it's all fucking phony. Both Darrens were never on the same episode of Bewitched, right?
No, never. No.
And you didn't see a picture of Dick York sitting on the Davenport or the Schiffer robe when Dick Sargent was in the room.
No, Dick York was in the institution at that time, I think.
Well, he had a bad back. He didn't go Is that what it was? As they say in the United Kingdom. No, he didn't. He was terribly plagued with a horrible back to the point where he had to quit acting and quit working, and that's why they had to make the change.
Why did I think he also had mental illness problems?
I don't know.
Did he have it later in life?
I don't. Well, when he was in ill health later in life and hooked up to oxygen and shit, as I recall, but I don't know if he went batshit fucking nuts along with it.
I mean, I just figured if I could talk to anyone about Dick York, it's Jim Cornette.
Well, I have no knowledge that he was ever accosted and wrapped into a rubber room at the Puzzle Factory. I have no knowledge of that.
When I was a kid, one of the women I was in PTA with my mom, her grandfather was Sergeant York.
Was that Dick's father?
It wasn't Dick's father.
Well, did he know the Duchess, her cousin?
Duchess of York?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Well, you never know. Between the Dicks and the Duchesses, those York people. Anyway, all right. So on SmackDown, a Cody and Seth package from Monday Night Raw. Raw has the best program. I don't mean television program. I mean the best wrestling angle, the program, the rivalry between Cody and Seth. Then we had a single match where, you know, they've got Los Lotharios, the tag team. There's Los and there's Jose, the Lotharios. Well, Jose of the Lotharios wrestled Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal's stooge is the 7-foot guy that they've been hiding that we just said, why don't we see more of this fucking guy? He's 7 feet, but he can move around, right? He's a giant, but he still looks like he's ambulatory. Come to find out, Skanky, the 7-footer, that's his name, by the way. Isn't it? Skanky or Shanky?
Shanky.
Shanky. Well, Skanky, whatever. He's now a dancing fool. He dances like Elaine Bennis. Jinder don't like it. But Skanky he can't stop the dancing. He can't stop the rhythm. Feats, do your stuff.
Do you think this was done to send a message to Matt Morgan that we could do worse to a giant?
I don't know, because Morgan had more upside than Skanky does.
That's true.
And I think the stutter is probably worse than the dancing. But Jinder Mahal beat Jose Lothario, and then Skanky started dancing, and Jinder got mad and left, so Skanky got the girl ring announcer to get up and dance with him. So then,
what's the audience for that? I mean, that's the question.
I don't know what any of this. It's like they're all on some type of hallucinogenic mushrooms, but at the same time they used a chemical additive to the mushrooms that changed the hallucination factor into fever dreams. I don't know. So last week on the program, Shotzi Blackheart rabble-roused up all the girls to go out and do whatever they were going to do, and then she got locked in the locker room. It shows her she's the last one to leave, and she can't get out the door. And then another girl was on the other side of the door with the key. So then Ronda Rousey made an entrance for a 6-pack challenge. The match that they wanted to have when the gruesome twosome, Sasha Banks and Naomi, said, fuck you, and walked out. So this one was Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez versus Shotzi versus Aaliyah versus Shayna Baszler versus Xia Li versus Natalya, with Rousey on color. But here's the thing. They did 3 entrances. Well, they did 2 entrances, and then they played Aaliyah's music, but guess what? Aaliyah now is locked in the locker room and can't get out. And old Shotzi's laughing about it, because what's good for the one girl's good for the other girl. So the way that they showed this was Aaliyah can't get out of the locker room, and the cameraman with the television camera is locked in there with her and can't get out. And obviously nobody knows that they're locked in there because they just showed it on live TV. Because I bet you on the other side of that door, within 10 or 15 feet in that busy arena, there's a lot of people that could just go over and open that door up. But there's no way to know that they were locked in there because they were just seen on national TV locked in there. So they went to the break, and then they came back, did 3 more entrances. And I don't know how long the entrances lasted, but I know that it was longer than the match, because within 5 minutes, Natalya won. Out of nowhere. I like Natalya, but she's the one that gets the shot at Rousey. I don't know what they're doing with Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez, because she's got potential. Lacey Evans, they did a package this time instead of just standing her up there like a hostage. Inspirational quotes, pictures of her in the military, pictures of her with her kids, More quotes of her telling the fans to wake up, work, and win. She's going to be here live next week. What a motivational speaker. What a paragon of pulchritude and resplendency, and she's a role model is what she is.
Well, they definitely were pushing the idea that she's inspirational. The inspirational Lacey Evans. So we'll find out if wrestling fans go for an inspirational babyface. It'll be interesting.
She inspired me to hit the fast forward button. And I got to Mosh Pit Jones. But I may have to take this one back. Because old Mosh Pit Jones, now that he's broken away from Happy Corbin, he's not wearing the goofy outfit. He's fucking ripped. He looks amazing. The physical condition he's in, the physique. He looks like a star now. He's wearing trunks and boots. The announcers were even apologizing, kind of, in the way that the WWE does for the bad gimmick that he was doing. But then it was a promo, and I thought, oh, shit, he's going to have to do the scripted delivery. It's not good material, but he was trying. So there may be something with this guy. He looks good and normal now, is all I can. So I'm open. But then he called Happy Corbin out, and Happy came out and tried to blow him off, but Pierce came out and made the fucking match. And I would rather watch the former Mosh Pit versus anyone other than Happy Corbin. But luckily, this didn't last long either, because Corbin sucker punched Moss. I guess that's his real last name, Moss. Moss comes back. He beats the shit out of Corbin. He gut shots him with a chair and gets disqualified in 90 seconds. He hits him with 2 more chair shots. He throws the stairs in the ring, hits him with another chair shot. Here comes the agents and the referees. So at least they're listening about trying to separate people and make it look real. Now the problem is it happens 4 times in every show. So Corbin limps out after his ass kicking. And guess what Adam Pearce did, Brian?
Did he make another match?
Mm-hmm. No holds barred.
Oh, come on.
Lazy booking. For Hell in a Cell this weekend, they've added 3 matches to their pay-per-view 2 days before the fucking thing takes place.
Is that the new thing? That's what Tony Khan did with Double or Nothing also.
I guess it's a thing that, because the same people are going to buy these shows almost regardless of what is announced. If you announce Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, you might see late ticket sales. Otherwise, I don't even know why they announce the matches anymore, because nobody gives a shit about them, in the WWE especially. In AEW, the same people are going to buy it because they think that they're in love with the smell of their own farts. They can do no wrong. And in the WWE, I think their fans just buy it out of habit because nothing is interesting. And these people have got to have better things to do with their lives, but they hold out hope it'll be good like it used to be, or some. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process would be behind. Anyway, then after that, there's a brief interview next week on SmackDown for the Intercontinental title. It'd be Ricochet versus Gunther. And I hesitate to make predictions anymore in today's environment, but Jesus H. Christ on a cracker, bet the farm on Gunther. Can you see, especially with the push they've given him so far, can you see him in any way putting over a guy half his size that's a glorified fucking gymnast, when they've got plans for Gunther as a star heel? So hopefully they'll get that belt on him quick, because we need something else to watch on his program.
And hopefully they keep the belt on him, because it's about time we kind of make the Intercontinental belt mean something.
Any belt. Any belt. Put it on somebody and leave it and let them fucking run with it. Speaking of which, the last match was Riddle and Shaky against the Usos. They're bridging this from Raw to SmackDown. We can't see enough of it on one show. That was the entire SmackDown television program. Mr. Last.
It's terrible wrestling. I mean, remember a few weeks back, no, probably a few months, one of the listeners sent us a breakdown of each wrestling show, AEW and WWE, how many actual minutes of wrestling were on each show. And like SmackDown had something like 12 minutes or something. It was something ridiculous. But when you run these shows down, there's no wrestling on them.
Well, they try in AEW. They give us matches. I don't know if there's wrestling in them, but they give us matches.
I was speaking specifically about WWE, that there's no wrestling on these shows.
Yeah, no, in the WWE, no, that's the last thing they want to do is break into a match. So we get bad wrestling for the most part in AEW, and then we get our fix of the top guys who are actually interesting. And in the WWE, we get almost no matches, but it doesn't matter because everybody's boring as fuck. You know, sometimes I just want to go outside, Brian.
Uh-oh.
And just sit in a chair and just stare at my front yard. That's what I want to do sometimes.
Well, lots of people take pride in their lawn, and a lot of people want to sit outside, especially in this weather, and enjoy their prideful lawn, of course.
Yes, and it doesn't even have to be a weekend. It could be any day, but it's especially nice on Sunday when you got the Sunday lawn. You know, on Sunday, the living is easy. And everything, you slow down and you take a look and you smell the roses and you take a breath and you hug your loved ones and you look around at your lawn and all out in the front of your yard, you got bare spots. You got brown spots. You got weeds. You got, Brian, I know you've got 4 kids there. So you've got to have a lot of bare spots because when you send the kids out to piss or shit on the front lawn.
That's not what we do. Our bare spots are actually caused by bears.
Well, I know you got bears up there, but the bear spots, that's for the bears to go to. We're talking about the spots where there's no grass growing.
Right, where the bear ripped up the grass.
Well, no, bears don't rip up grass. That's what the kids are doing when they're shitting and pissing on the lawn.
The kids are not doing that on the lawn, at least not here.
Well, I've rounded up some neighborhood kids and asked them to piss and shit on the lawn because I figured that was fertilizer. You got some poop and you got all those chemicals that you find in excrement and in urine. And I figured, well, that's a natural way to fertilize things. So I grab half a dozen of these neighborhood kids, a little crumb snatching rugrats, and I'd say, hey, you want to make a dime? The leader can make a quarter. Go drop your pants and drop a deuce right on my front lawn. And you two, you go around back and pull out your little winky hoses and spray the backyard. I thought that would work. It didn't work. The grass just got, every time Harley Quinn wanted to go out there and lay around, she was constantly dodging, the turds from the children. That's a big problem if you got kids. Turds on your lawn. But folks, again, whether you've got weeds or you got bare spots or you got the kid spots that you get when kids do what kids do on your lawn, the folks at Sunday can help you solve all those problems and more the easy way because they got everything you need from fertilizer to seeds to weed control. It's all delivered to your door. And just don't let the neighborhood kids in there because they'll get mad that their job is being taken away and they'll start pissing and shitting on your front porch. Folks, when you go to Sunday, and by the way, it's getsunday.com. That's how you get them. You go to the website, getsunday.com. Sunday spelled just like the day of the week. When you go to Get Sunday, you put your address in, and the lawn analysis tool does the rest of everything. They prepare all the soil and climate data to create a personal nutrient plan for you that you will then have delivered to your door right when you need it. And, of course, depending on where you live, I mean, if you live in the Antarctic or certain spots in the Isle of Malta, this might not work, but most places in habitable environs on the planet Earth, this stuff will work just fine. They use ingredients that you can feel good about instead of all the chemicals and the additives and the preservatives and all those things that you can't even pronounce. There's good stuff in this mixture like seaweed and molasses. And I'll tell you what, seaweed and molasses with a little whipped cream and some marshmallows, boy, you just go take a fork out, sit cross-legged in the backyard, and just go to town. There's also iron in these Sunday lawn products. So you got to be careful, because keep your lawnmower blades sharp. You won't be able to cut those iron blades of grass unless you've got really sharp lawnmower blades. And then they become like little tiny needle projectiles that'll just be flung at your neighbors at a high rate of speed, and they'll pierce their skin and their organs. And, well, that makes a mess that Sunday Lawn Care also can take care of, but that's a completely different department.
I don't know. We shouldn't be talking about any of this.
Well, they've got this quicklime stuff. If you have a corpse to get rid of, you just dig a shallow hole, prepare the hole, and you put the corpse in there, and then you just get that. The Sunday Lawn also has a corpse analysis tool.
No, they don't.
It uses soil and climate data from whatever part of the world you're in, because then it'll determine exactly how you can decompose that rotting corpse at an optimum amount of time. And you pour the stuff in over the top of it on the hole, and then just cover it in, and nobody will ever know it's there until years from now, when somebody else lives there and they go to put in a garden, they dig up those bones, and then they call the police, and then there's a DNA thing. But the Sunday Lawn Care products will also change DNA in corpses.
No, it won't. We can stop adding things into
easy identification.
I thought you were actually going to go back to the plug, and instead you keep going with this.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you all the good things about Sunday Lawn. Folks, again, full season plans, not even involving any dead bodies, just good green grass. Start at just $129. You get 20% off of that when you visit getsunday.com/JCE at checkout. 20% off your custom plan at getsunday.com/JCE. Your pets will be happy. Your kids will be happy. Your lawn will be green. All of the bodies that you want to bury will be decomposed and unable to be found by the FBI. You got everything going for you. Every day is Sunday at getsunday.com/JCE.
I didn't think it would get any worse than the children pissing and urinating. Well, pissing is urinating, but urinating and defecating on your yard, but then you went with the corpses. Turned into poltergeists.
And that's another thing. If you're on an Indian burial ground,
stop
it. Sunday can't help you with that. You got to go to the county seat or potentially the state government and get a special permit to not only to excavate the remains of the Indian burial ground, but then also to relocate them somewhere else. And did you know that it's illegal in 14 states, including Oklahoma, for a dog to piss in a cemetery?
I don't even know if you're being serious or not. So, no, I did not know that.
Well, that's good, because I'm not being serious. All right.
Who are they going to ticket? The dog?
Well, no, they'll come after the living relatives. They certainly will. Let your dog in the goddamn cemetery, you never know what might happen. You know, the thing about those cemeteries, that's a lot of ground. That's a lot of real estate. Value's going up because people are just dying to get in there.
Two things before we wrap things up. Once again, we want to remind everyone, Sunday Lawn is a fantastic sponsor. Support them. Check them out because they support us. And secondly, I want to make a correction. You were right about Dick York. It was nothing to do with mental illness. It was drug addiction due to painkiller usage from back pain, a spinal issue, and then later on he developed other issues due to smoking.
There you go. But he wasn't crazy.
Wasn't crazy.
Had that going for him.
That was Dr. Bombay.